Yes. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is not my normal role I don't normally do this, so I'll ask you guys all up front to forgive me when I mess it up. First, I'd like to just welcome everybody here. Thank you, parents. We really appreciate you coming tonight to watch your kids. It's a wonderful to have them, and then we appreciate your support and you coming to watch them and coming to our meeting, and the staff as well. Thank you all for coming tonight. This is the last meeting before school is out, and we do have a quorum. And if you guys will join me, we'll say Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and is the symbol of perfect friendship among the united cultures.
All right. Thank you. We need to adopt the meeting agenda.
I move that we adopt this meeting's agenda.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Should have asked for comments, but we're just going to take an aye. All right. Now we need to consider approving the minutes of the previous meeting that was held on April the 20th, regular board meeting. Are there any comments about that? Anybody?
No.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I move that we approve the April 20th board meeting minutes. And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Number 3 is our construction report.
There is no construction update. We are still awaiting PSFA for our page turners. So with the end of the year coming, everything's kind of getting pushed a little bit to the summer. So
Remind me what the page turner is.
it means we move out of the design phase we're in, which is kind of more basic design of like kind of what the building to more concrete pieces of the design.
And we don't have a timeline for that.
Well, we really thought we would already have that page turner before this meeting, and it's looking like in the next 2 weeks, we'll probably make that. But we also know that the next 2 weeks are full of lots of activities. So no promises.
All right. So next on our agenda are the students that are going to present on System Go. Have they arrived?
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Vice President, school board members, Superintendent Pierce, and audience. My name is Javier Rivera. I am the Systems Go teacher at the high school. And unfortunately, some of my students that we're going to present are either playing golf, sick, or couldn't get a ride here. So that's where they're at. They did, however, make a real quick presentation about their rocket launch. They the reason that we wanted to present to you tonight is they actually got they designed the rocket themselves, they built the rocket themselves, and basically all it really did was supervise. They did a really wonderful job. They put it together in a span of 2 weeks.
Wow.
They really did. If you would go ahead with the next presentation there on the PowerPoint, there. This is the video. Excuse me. This is the actual rocket launch that we did in Jal, New Mexico on April 22nd. It was really foggy that morning, so it's a really short video because of the fog. But as you can tell, it's a rocket that was designed to launch to a speed of 658 miles an hour and fly as high as 4,850 feet right in that area. We weren't able to recover it because of the fog, and so we lost the altimeter. We couldn't. They're still looking for it. That's right, Joe, and so hopefully somebody will turn it in and we'll get it picked up and get the altimeter checked up. But they did a really, really great job with it actually putting it together in a span of, like I said, just about 2 weeks. They were able to put it together. They had designed it from second semester, the beginning of the second semester, which is in January, as you all are aware of, and then they were able to build it in that 2 weeks in, and were able to launch. And that was really the presentation. They had a PowerPoint as well. If you would go to the next slide, it just talks about the stage one, stage two, which is how they were able to get put together in 2 weeks. People that were really critical with helping us get the components together were Miss Nadia Stearns down in Lake Arthur and Mr. Richard over in Dell. He's an actual teacher down at Dell. They were able to get us that stuff. They did all of the it's actually not Rock STEM, it's Rock Sim, which is rocket simulation. Website where they actually designed and built the rocket. These are the parts documents that they use. As you can tell, there's just tons and tons of parts that they were able to put together in order to make that rocket. The rocket stood was the height of it was 6'3" at a 4-inch diameter, with an engine that was capable, like I say, of getting it up to speed of 658 miles an hour and to a height of 4,480 feet, I believe it was. Again, more parts, and that's the Rock Sim, the rocket simulation website that they were able to use to do that. And then stage three, then here it talks about how much work they actually had to put in the actual date of the flight. There was a lot of work that they did because we ran out of light. They actually launched it for us on the 23rd of April rather than the 22nd. But they worked from the time we got there, which was right at 8 o'clock till sunset that day. Okay, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I wish they could have come.
How many
But-
students participated?
We had I had 5 students in class, and 2 were actually able to go down to the launch.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
So their parts
Shoot.
completely prescribed, or do they get any like chance to toy with diameter, length of rocket, things like that?
That's what that rock sim is about.
Yeah.
It's an actual rocket simulation. They
Yes.
actually build the rocket, launch it in the simulation, and it tells them exactly how it's going to
Nice.
react.
Were any of the other rockets recovered? Like how many schools went?
There was 14 schools, and I believe 10 of them were recovered. So it's not uncommon to lose them because I mean it goes up a mile.
Yeah. So it
you
goes up
can't-
a mile.
So you lose it after about a few thousand feet, and then
Well, the
How
sound
far
effects
off
were
are they
great.
landing?
the furthest one that I saw land was probably right out about a mile and a half
Out.
because of the wind and the
Yes,
carry and
carry.
all
The rockets that were recovered, how high did they go?
that. We had 8 of them that were 1 mile, 1 pound, which is the mission, and then there were 2 more or 3 more that were transonic. That means they went supersonic,
That's sweet.
and so those I have no idea how high those went.
Nice.
Those are like the schools that have been doing it for a few years.
So what do we need to adjust to get there?
Nothing. We just need to get the kiddos back in there.
So what have you learned most from
Oh
teaching this
my
course?
goodness, math has been it's essential for anything to do with rocket.
Yeah.
When I sent an email and ended up, I was bragging on the kiddos, and at the bottom I said, yes, it is rocket science because it really is. It really is rocket science. There's a lot of math involved. Students are well capable of doing.
Yeah.
And adjusting to any challenge that they really are. We've got some really wonderful students here.
Yeah. And do you mind my asking, what other classes do you teach?
I teach this year it was capsule project
Yes.
and teacher cats.
Okay. Has the way you have to teach the curriculum for this course? Has it shifted the way you teach any of your other courses?
No, I teach, I've been teaching for 24 years.
Yeah.
Kind of said it in my ways, but I think it works really well. Super, especially here at next.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
presentation. And next we get to have our elementary students. Are you guys ready?
Good evening, Vice President, Board Member, Superintendent Pierce. We have our gifted elementary students here that are going to present on their curriculum first Lego. So I'm going to let them stand and can introduce themselves and then we'll begin.
Hello, our team name is Smarties, and now we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Tatiana. I am the leader and lead researcher of the group. My name is Pierce, and I'm the co-creator of the group. Hello, my name is Carol. I am the head co-creator.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Anya, and I helped with the mission and
Okay. Very nice. Thank you.
yes.
We're also missing one member who just couldn't make it tonight. So I believe Mr. Cal Elkins is going to take care of that for us.
All right.
Just please give us a moment while we get the robot and everything else booted up.
Take your time.
Hi, welcome to the first language challenge. This is presentation and I would like to show you how we built and how we use these. So basically how you would use this is the robot would hit this, which would make this come out, and then it would get its treasure.
Oh,
And how we built it is, where is that piece? Okay, well, we used this little piece that helped make it go like this, and it helped help it tip over so then it can achieve its treasure.
nice. Did you have a diagram to follow or?
Uh, yeah, yes. This is Johan's paper, in fact. He cannot be here today, so I will be covering. He is presenting the cover, the robots, and how we built them. We had to go through every step to find what we were missing and we were missing. Or if we skip a step, we have to restart on the project that we were working on. So, what kind of motors? We have different types of motors. We have 4 different types of sensors, which are called the color sensor, the distance sensor, the force sensor, and the gyro sensor. 3 robot challenge. These are some of the challenges we had on the missions and the researching. It was a team effort. We always come in and help each other.
Thank you for presenting that.
This time for my work, where I am presenting the Apple I code on, and the different and how we code. The Spike Prime app is where I begin coding on Roblox. In Roblox, there's different tabs to connect to certain parts of the robot. The tabs are motors, movement, light, sound, events, control, sensors, operators, variables, and my blocks. Motors is essential for turning and setting the speed the robot moves with. Movement is used to set how far you want the robot to move and when you want it to stop. Light is not as essential as the others because it doesn't help to complete missions. It changes the light on the robot. Sound is the exact same thing as light, except it makes the robot make sounds instead of light changing. Events let you code the robot to where certain things have to happen before the robot takes action. Controls. Oh, sorry. Control lets us make it to where certain things have to happen that cause other things to happen. Sensors controls any sensor that we put on the robot, including light sensors, force sensors, and distance sensors. Operators lets us make the robot move using math instead of the normal way. The reason why is unknown. And finally, variables in my blocks let you create new blocks to make it do different things.
You.
Alright. This is something this robot we built with the help of me, pretty much everybody. I built the coding recipe here, but Luke is going to present it. Now it's gonna go forward, turn, and go. What the? I said that.
But it works.
Okay, it works.
Real quick, sorry.
Do you want to set that down right here?
And then we troubleshoot.
Sorry, I kind of had to make it while we were. Oh,
it's perfect.
that is why. That is why. You changed it. I thought you changed it. Look, you change it. I'm trying to see. Hold it. So I'm looking through all the system processing. Sorry. System
That's awesome. You guys are doing great.
So while they get that booted up, I just wanted to present how we built our robot. For our robot, we kind of used just Legos, and we kind of just attached them all together where they needed to go. For this, we had a little guide on the computer on the Spike app, and we would follow that guide to get to know how to build the robot and its base and everything.
It's
Thank you.
really cool.
All right. Oh, I accidentally started it. Sorry. System failure. Now it should be fixed. Set the wrong motion. There we go. I didn't set the turning all the way.
That's working. That's good. Good job, guys.
Went right back to start point. Nice.
Very nice. How many times did you have to put it together before it worked?
Well, when we first built this base, this is driving base 1, it was pretty simple. We got it first try. We built driving base 2, but we unfortunately weren't able to get that to move. So last second, the wheels were lifted off the ground. So last second, we rebuilt it to go back to driving base 1. because we knew we can move it correct. So the
Awesome.
problem is I didn't. Because I had to make this. But no matter.
I really love it. It's amazing.
Good job, guys.
So I'm just gonna tell you real quick, my favorite part is actually that you messed up because then it showed how quick you could go in and fix it. And
That's
that's
right.
really what we need. And so I work at a cheese plant and things mess up all the time. And people don't know how to just be like, oh, let me go in and fix that. So that was perfect. I actually love that it messed up and it showed how quick you guys could regroup and you knew your stuff just to correct it. So well done with that. Good job, guys.
Congratulations.
That's pretty cool.
Very exciting. Thank you for coming to show us.
Definitely pass this on to whoever goes next.
Well, thank you for coming.
So with the research part, we didn't really get much into the research because we are more focused on expanding the building structures of our robot. And which took us about 14 sessions to build. We only have like an hour and 30 minutes for each session. So we couldn't get that far by each session. And then we're also really focused on figuring out how the robot works and how we would get it to move. We figured out some quite interesting stuff, which is that it can make noises, such as animal noises, or you can record your own voice and it'll repeat your own voice.
Oh,
You can also display words or spell out sentences on the face of the robot. You can do this by going into the Python web and just typing in different codes for the robot. This is also really interesting. We got all the different structures and mission setup, and we had our table, and we are trying to do it to where we could like figure out how to make our robot do one of the missions so that we could show you guys. Unfortunately, we could not get it done in time, which is why we just showed you how it worked. But we also built all of the missions, and all of the missions are really interesting because you have to really think about it, and how to create or how to complete them. You also have to set it at different degrees and of force so that it can complete each mission. And
I'm gonna say something. Each of the missions, we're doing a certain mission called Unearth that works in for archaeologists and that stuff. Each of the missions represents something that an archaeologist would do, such as unearthing a ship, sweeping up some brush, or restoring an area. And it also, we also had 14 missions to do, and it took us at least 14. And it took us 14 hours. Sessions.
well, that is a really cool program. What's your favorite thing about it all?
well,
My favorite thing about it was kind of just experimenting with the robot, finding out whatever to do. That was my favorite part.
How about you?
well, the whole point of this program is to like go and compete against other schools. But the main point is to build a robot that can create something new that can help the archaeologists while excavating or while they're on their missions. So we wanted to create like a new type of technology that could help them on whatever they were trying to discover.
Cool.
Leadership.
Yeah, nice.
He was taking after that.
Well, that's a good job.
Then so she kind of, she kind of had, like, she bumped into. She was good at mostly helping, and she was just really good at leadership. So we let her, because we had stuff in, but then we just forgot about it, and then we made it goals. She learned.
Well, I think that you guys have proven that you work together as a team really well. And I'm wondering, do you see yourself doing this kind of work in the future?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Question.
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. So you mentioned Python for coding. Did you guys use any other applications for coding?
We mostly use the Spike app, which already has like all the little
Free coding boxes, yeah.
Which I already
Yes.
Drag and drop.
Yes, you can get on stuff like that, but we never really got onto it when we found out we did.
Mhm.
I personally never got on it. I'm pretty sure. you did.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure I taught Anya how to get on it too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we just explored a little bit of that. Most of the animal noises and stuff was from the Spike, but the faces and the words and stuff, it was from the Python.
Nice.
You couldn't really do much stuff on the Python because it had like a limited thing just for your robot.
Yes.
And you had to like learn a whole other type of code and those that type of stuff to get like the robot to do something else. Which we didn't really have time to learn. We were mostly focused on, like how I said, getting our robot to get like we were trying to get our robot to do the missions.
Well, I think it was very successful. And we're really proud of you guys for the work you've done. Thank you for coming to show us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you certainly don't have to.
That's all. I can't.
Well, thank you for coming.
He's proud of his mom.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we have board reports. And I would personally like to say how wonderful the senior baccalaureate service was yesterday. They worked really hard putting all of it together, and they did a wonderful job. And we had a great turnout of families, and it was just a beautiful day for them. I think they had a lot of fun afterwards, and assuming all of them survived. But how about you guys? You have something to report?
I don't have anything to report.
No, I do not.
All right.
Did you attend the baccalaureate?
I did.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I've always gone there.
I didn't, I'm also, I didn't attend, so it was great.
And next is our superintendent's report.
So I was able to watch the biliteracy seal presentations the other day for students. There was 5 students who presented, and really impressive that our students can go from English to Spanish so fluently and easily, and really talk about what they're going to do in their future. So looks like we'll have about 5. We're still awaiting some scores from the online portion. So as soon as we know that, we'll have a for sure number that may receive the biliteracy seal, which I don't think we've done a good enough job telling people what that is. So I had somebody ask the other day about what that does for our kids, and what does the school get out of it? And really, we don't get anything but bragging rights for our kids. And to me, that's a big deal, that kids can leave Dexter schools and say that I can read, write, speak, and listen in a language other than English. And the majority of our students, it is Spanish that they're looking for. So I look forward to really pushing this in the future, and hoping that any of our students who either maybe their first language is Spanish and they have a lot of Spanish background, or as we push towards offering Spanish at the high school, that we'll have more students choose to take that on as a little extra for them to receive that on their diploma. So
That's exciting.
myself and two others went to Chicago this last week for a facilities symposium. Very informational in regards to what we need to do in the future for our facilities. We had a little 1 hour meeting on creating a 15-year plan. And to me, that was something that I never thought about that far out. Like, what does this look in 15 years? What is our school? What do we need to be shooting for? Typically, we run a 3 to 5 year plan. And with that, it's great. But a lot of the times, funding is further out than that, right? So as we look into the future, really kind of getting ourselves a 15-year plan of, by then, we may need a new school here. And so for our high school, what does that look like? And what kind of things would we want this to have? Not detailed, but enabling us to pre-plan if we want something more than what the base the state will provide. If you have 15 years to make those plans, you're either A, saving money to make something that you think is important for your community, or if it's all about taking care of what we have, ensuring that every year that we are holding back to whenever we have a breakdown of air conditioner or whatnot, and we're not just essentially trying to be like, oh, and here's our next step. And I think a 3 to 5 year is good, but a 15-year kind of takes that scope out to what does when our kids are no longer in kindergarten and they've graduated, what does it look like for the next group of kids coming through? So hopefully we'll add that to our list of things to do this summer. We got to tour the facility there, and they started out making cafeteria tables, and they've kind of gone into all school equipment. And the one thing that really stood out to me was the fact that there's warranty on all their equipment. So we know kids are hard on cafeteria tables. We know they're hard on chairs. I mean, kids are always leaning back and wiggly. And with a 15-year warranty on most of everything, and then lifetime on other parts of their equipment, they come out and they actually provide service for you there. The other part that was nice is they didn't ever try to sell us anything. It was all about, what does this look like and how would this benefit your kids, and how would the service that we could provide make it better? So sometimes I think we always want to just go with what's cheapest and the best option. But as we prepare for a new build and we want this building to last, and we want the furniture to last as long as the building does, you know, sometimes you have to pay, and they're about 15% more than the average chair or table. And it may take us a while to get there, but I think that there is some value in getting some quality that will last kids a long time. So that I thought it was very informational, because we talked about facilities in general, and then the company also took us on a plant tour of their company. So because we condensed this meeting so that way we could get in and out of here, please plan that June meeting will be a little bit longer as we put in budget. And that way, because we thought, okay, if that's all we put in tonight, but we still box it in with 1 hour, right? So we feel like we have to get out of here. Well, if there's questions, or if we need to go longer, even on the presentation, a lot of the times the presentation is about an hour long. Best for us to do that in June. We have until June 20th to have board approval on it. So not a problem in terms of timeline. But just be aware that it typically is a longer meeting as we close out the school year, but budget we typically have done earlier depending on what we had. So that is all.
Well, I wanted to say before, thank you to all the people that write the reports and send them to us in advance. I have so much information in them, and I know that takes time, and we appreciate them very much. We're not touching on those things in our meeting, but we appreciate the information and the knowledge that it gives us about the workings. And I apologize, I didn't say that before.
No, and I think we're kind of just finishing out this year, but as I talked to others, maybe the fact that we could have one or two present every meeting and kind of just put it on a cap, that would be good information that we have to the public. But just try to finish out this year through June and make some changes as we know they need to happen.
Anybody have questions or comments?
I do not think you.
Okay. We have anyone that signed up for the public forum? No? All right. Under business, we have approval of out-of-state travel, and that's to Lubbock around the very end of May 26th or to the 28th. Are there questions or comments? It's for 2 adults.
That's just so I can take that big reaper truck back.
You don't get to keep it?
No, I don't want to leave it.
Have you been outside the high school cafeteria? And
pretty
it's
loud.
so loud. I
Yeah.
can't wait for the day we can turn it off.
Next Thursday.
Well, that's wonderful, but it's going to be finished that quickly.
Well, it's not gonna be finished. Well, the truck we'll be through with the truck by,
Because it's
but,
Awesome.
kitchen won't be done that quick.
So that's pretty amazing anyway. Okay, so do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve, to take back the noisy truck to Lubbock.
And a second?
I second that.
All right. Any comments or questions?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Second, we're going to consider approval of the security camera addition and the installation of them. And is that yours too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So what it is after reviewing some stuff and talking with Mrs. Pierce and a few other people, we had some blind spots where we needed to add some more cameras that we did not originally have on the plans. So that's what this additional funding is for, is so we could add, so we wouldn't have as many blind spots.
This is in addition to the other.
addition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that's not that many cameras you'll notice on here, but a lot of this is gonna be even the wiring to so the high school cafeteria in the front of it has 0 cameras.
Right.
And so that's an area that we know is a high traveled, high traffic student need area. And so we will have to run the wiring to that.
Yeah, it's not so much the cameras, it's expensive, it's all the labor and all the wiring and everything.
Yeah, that's definitely what it appears to be. Yeah. What fund does this come out of? Because the last one came out of
It's
some.
the security funding.
Yes, still PS or
Yeah, capital.
Not
funding
PSFA,
Specifically
yeah.
for security from, it flows through PSFA, but different from our building.
Sweet, so there's still some left in that security fund for
Yes.
that. Cool.
And we did put that in there whenever we always put security measures of any kind in there
Yes.
as like a blanket. And so that way, because you can only utilize it for security measures or CTE, that's there too.
Got you.
So some blanket type,
Gotcha.
once we know exactly what we need.
I don't have any more questions.
I don't have any.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the extra cameras for the building.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. All right, next we have our fine arts grant and consider approval for the application of it.
So this year I got the lovely option to write the fine arts grant. In the future, the elementary, I did use she's K-8 art teacher help as well. In the future, we will transition that to something that she's doing with the elementary school principal. I noticed there was a few questions on there. So we currently we have a certified teacher that does it. She teaches K-8.
Okay.
She does the fine arts piece, and then we have an aide that does the dance, the music, the theater piece
Okay.
of that. That I noticed was a question on, do we do that? So she is providing that as an EA.
Is that like because I know we used to have a theater class. So is that an extra class that she's providing it as? Is it an extracurricular thing?
They get it every other week. So if they receive art this week, they receive dance, music, theater the next week, and it's back and forth. And every K-5 student receives it that way.
Yes.
6, 7, and 8. 7 and 8 receive it through operational funds. We pay for one class period
Okay.
out of that funds. They receive it every day if they choose that class, and then every sixth grader also receives it, and they receive it daily because
Okay.
that's how schedule works, just like a regular class. But
Okay.
we have all sixth graders take art.
What stars code is that? Like, what is it? It's just art, just an art class.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
just
I was
pulled
just
it up.
wondering, like, where's Jamie? She could, where's
She could
Jamie?
pull it. She would pull it out for you if
Yeah, I was just wondering which one we were housing that under.
it
The
is visual art.
okay.
Visual
Got
art.
you. Makes sense. And then for the piece about implementing 2 cross-curricular units per grade, so it's like that different every single grade because that would be
No,
Oh,
and so we have, this year we played with art schedule. We were doing it twice a week
Yes.
for shorter amount of time with our elementary students. And we found that became, they were having to clean up too fast and it wasn't enough time. So next year we're looking at going into a longer, about an hour time with each
Yeah.
class. So that way the cleanup and put up. But with that creates a little more flexibility planning time. And so the expectation with that is for her to have 2 events, one in the fall and one in the spring, where she can either include with some of the other activities, math and science night, reading night, any of those activities we already do. But she also is very much one of those people that, I mean, as you walk down the hall, you could see all the art.
Mhm.
I won't be surprised if she doesn't choose to do her own night or activity because she really feels, strongly about providing art opportunities to kids. So it's very broad, right? It doesn't say like, these are the activities. It's just the expectation of what that looks like.
And the other classes have been good because I see that in here, right? ELA, math, science, social studies, pretty good about letting her come in and they can
Yeah.
co-develop
So,
a unit.
this is her first year with us. She's student taught with us. So that also has, right? She's kind of been in those classrooms. She has a special education,
Still growing.
but also the fact of like, whenever you come in and you're excited about something, people want you to do things with kids. So
Sure.
how do we make that happen? We give them opportunity to do it.
Nice, but those are
So
the questions I had.
Do you have questions?
I do not.
Do I hear a motion to approve the art grant,
I make a motion that we approve the fine arts grant.
fine arts grant? I lost my place. All right. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Section number 6, finance and facilities. We have approval of the April bills and payroll. Comments or questions? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve April bills and payroll.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approval of budget adjustments. Are there questions?
No.
Okay. No questions, no comments. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the bars.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And last, approval of permanent cash balance transfer. Transfer of funds to pay for serving lines at the high school cafeteria.
I think I would like Jeannie to just kind of give an overview of what this is, so there's a good understanding of.
So I can confuse us all a little more.
Yay.
That's okay.
So 2 years ago, we received a federal direct grant for cafeteria infrastructure. Shelley, they did serving lines, and I want to say there was something else in the oven. So we very happily wrote a PO, spent that money. Come to find out, there's a whole process through DFA because the state is not flowing that money through PED. So I sent in a reimbursement and their head is like, sorry, you didn't ask our permission to obligate these funds. Which is all, well, big lesson learned because now we're dealing with DFA on all these legislative awards. So we still have that cafeteria funding. We spent the money on serving lines in the oven. That was the first part of it that was paid in that fiscal year. The next fiscal year, when I got the news about the reimbursement, I was able to reclassify those expenditures to our bond, which pays for equipment.
Mhm.
But I can't reclassify expenditures in the previous year. I just can't. So we're left with that negative balance. What we want to do is transfer cash. You know, I know we've talked about bars before. We can't transfer budget between funds,
Correct.
but we can transfer cash with board and then PED approval and audit approval, because that amount has been verified in our audit for the last 2 years. But so it's in there and we can transfer cash. So we're not losing that grant money.
Right.
That's what we're using. It does expire this year, but that's what we're using to pay for the plumbing renovation and the cafeteria now. So we just end up paying for those serving lines and the oven with our bond funds,
Nice.
which is part of the election. You know, we do ask our voters for equipment improvement purchases.
That makes sense. Thanks for the
I'm
explanation.
glad.
No, it did. It made sense.
I,
So, but the question, was that originally a grant from DFA? Is that why?
no, our letter came from PED.
Not like DFA, like dairy DFA.
That's what I was
No.
thinking.
No,
No.
They're gonna do a dairy kid here. I'm like, wow. That was interesting.
I'm sure Linda's very familiar with the Department of Finance and Administration.
That makes more sense.
Yes, not
Yeah.
Dairy Farmers America.
I know. I was like, oh, that's interesting. They want to jump in on that.
No, so but now all of our legislative awards also have to go through there. So like this, Gene, we're also struggling with them is before every quarter, if we don't have everything checked off, or if we checked it off too early, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you have to do it again before you go back to PD. Like there's a lot of check this
Two
box.
Different rules. DFA is okay with the reports just every quarter.
Great.
That's their rule. But we learned PED, if we add another, where we want to issue another PO, we have to revise that report, or actually start it early. So we and all the other school districts have been learning a lot with DFA, and the state of New Mexico, and it's been
A learning experience.
She was on Zoom calls with them for about 3 months before somebody answered her question on how they just kept kicking back our PD fund. And then when we finally got to this answer of, oh, you have to reissue it, it all went through.
Yeah, I can't say where the issue is with PE. You know, I just DFA made it pretty easy. But
Well, we know that how many changes have happened at PED. And it's just like every new person that comes in has their own idea.
And instructions with the grant award would have been so helpful.
Yeah. I see why you were confused. I thought we were talking about dairy farmers.
So
So
do you
no
have more?
judgment. Yeah, no problem.
They can give us money too if they want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will no
Fine with it.
longer put I will fill out things. that I need.
I'm just glad you read that on my face. Thanks.
I understand that world. We're
Yeah,
good.
thank you. I move that, any other questions or comments? No. Cool. I move that we approve the permanent cash balance.
Do I have a second?
I will second
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. And we're down to reporting on personnel. Do we have any new hires?
No new hires as of yet. We're going to interview for elementary principal this last week. It feels like I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago, and it was because it wasn't, you know, we had the meeting a week later than
Right.
normal. And so hopeful that in the next few weeks, we'll get back on the wagon of replacing. So
And we had 2 resignations, one from Daniel Moreno from the maintenance and Trevor Sanders, a teacher at the high school. They both wrote very nice letters of resignation, and we appreciate the service that they've given us here in Dexter. Future
wait.
agenda.
I'm sorry,
item.
can I make a comment or have a question? Do we do exit surveys?
So I
For-
started that as something, and it just has gotten tossed to the side like other things. It's super important, I think, but we
Yeah,
need to
just because
get
we've
back
had a lot of resignations, so I think it would be a good guide for us on our strategic plan to use maybe for like staff retention, just to kind of give us an idea of where we need to improve maybe to retain staff or what. Just because I've noticed in the last, maybe 4 or 5 months that we've had a lot of resignation.
but it is that time of year.
Yeah. Moving to different schools, moving with family.
Okay, any other questions about personnel? Future agenda items. We're not having any form of summer school?
So middle school, last month, you met with, Lieutenant Aguilar, General Aguilar. He came, that's what middle school is. And then our high school is doing, regular credit recovery summer school. And then elementary is doing their STEM camp. And we
Cool.
really tried hard not to plan over anything in the community, because there's a lot of community things that also happen at that point. So we really want to ensure that some of that happens as well. So I believe that's the third week of June. We haven't really started advertising, but in the next week, and then we'll start sending home phone calls reminding parents.
Right. Anybody else have anything to add to future agenda item? Okay, number 9 is correspondence, future meetings and events.
So we do have correspondence. I don't have it here with me tonight. The Historical Society did send us a nice letter, just thanking us. And so I'll try to bring that to the next meeting and read that to you guys, since my office isn't next door.
Okay,
We'll get that.
and then future meetings and events, May 16th is high school graduation, May 18th, kindergarten graduation and 5th grade promotion.
8:30 for kindergarten and 1 for 5th grade.
And I know that there's a middle school, or 9th graders are going, 8th graders are going to visit 9th grade.
Yes. So 5th grade is going to visit middle school on Thursday of this week. I don't know. So what did you guys decide about middle school?
Seniors will walk through the.
Oh, that's a fun
They
thing.
are doing that as well.
When do they do that?
Thursday. Yes.
Thursday, it's right at 1:00 in the elementary.
It's one of my favorite things.
I will try and catch that because I apologize. I will be gone this weekend. It was planned before I was on the board. And so, yeah, I will be out for that. So I'm sorry, but I will try and catch that.
Well,
And you
and
said
I-
it begins here at the elementary?
I apologize because I'm not going to be at graduation either. My granddaughter graduates in Los Lunas. And I had to choose.
That's right.
I really don't like to miss graduation. It's one of my favorite things. But- all right,
And then the next board meeting is June 8th.
June 8th. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I hope all of you are staying for supper. This needs to be signed.
Yes, please. Hey, you did so good.
Oh, well, thank you.